Yeah. Today I am going to discuss. I'm getting this sound, sir. Hello. Yeah. Today we are going to discuss about what is green computing, what is green cloud, and then we will conclude with the fog and its characteristics. Uh, so here in cloud computing, what happened day by day, the number of internet users is growing exponentially. The need of cloud computing comes into the existence to overcome the limitation of the amount of information present on a single server by allowing users to link to any remote server for information. So here, why we are thinking about green cloud computing? What is the requirement of this? The main requirement of green cloud computing is due to the rapid increasing of data or and number of due to rapidly increasing of users and its users applications, different type of data is feeding into the network. So what happened is day by day the data will be increased, and the storage capacity also exponentially increasing the storing capacity. So whatever the data we are working on it, if you see this figure, we are using different networks. Okay, if you say take the ISRO, the database, what are the images and different type of data, and similarly different. If you see various social networks or any institutional organizations data, that data into stored into the cloud centers. Okay, cloud data centers. If you see any, for example, if you consider the Facebook is one social network, and Facebook having its own data center. Okay, so whatever the data we are feeding into the Facebook social network, that data is stored into the servers. So we have to maintain a cloud data center, the particular that particular thing. So day by day, every organization, any institutes require the data center, and they are storing their data there. So what happened? The consuming of power, okay, and the generating of a revenue, okay, I mean consuming and everything. So here in data centers created for cloud computing application consume huge amount of energy, contribute to high operational cost and large amount of carbon dioxide emissions to the environment. So it is rapidly increasing the day by day. So it leads to the abrupt level of power consumptions and increase the amount of harmful gases in the environment. So in this concern, we need green computing solutions that cannot only save energy but also reduce the operational cost and enrich environment sustainability. So here, if you see, you know the what is the cloud computing, what are the different type of clouds are there, okay, and what is this meaning and different characteristics also there, and what are the different deploy model of cloud computing we have discussed in the previous session. Public cloud, private cloud, community and hybrid cloud. So what is green? So here, the green computing is the study and practice of environmentally sustainable computing or information technology. So here, if you see this center, there are different racks and having a very huge number of servers, and where we can store the data here also. So the green computing can be achieved by reducing the overall power consumptions. So when we are establishing or started one this data center, it requires more power consumption. It's consuming more power in terms of servers, in terms of AC. We need to provide the AC to this servers. So otherwise it will be blast. Okay, so this can be accomplished by the redesigning the infrastructure of network by reducing number of servers, switches, cables, or applying different power consumption schemes and patterns. So here, the green computing is where organization adopt a policy of ensuring that the setup and operation of information technology produce the minimal carbon footprint. Okay, so here the concept of green cloud computing has comes after the addition of advantage of green computing with the cloud computing. So here the solution environment for energy aware cloud computing data centers, we have different users, and we are having different cloud services, that is A, B, and there is a cloud broker where we can do different operations. We're having a private cloud, and this is a carbon emission and different areas. So what is the main goal of green computing? That we have, first of all, we need to minimize the energy consumption. We need to purchasing the green energy and reduce the travel requirement for the employees and computers. So if you see the history of green computing, that Gardner report in 2007, the IT industry contributes 2% of world's total CO2 emissions, after US reports that 1.5% of total US power consumption used by data centers, which has more than doubled since 2000 and cost one 4.5 billion dollars. So the energy used in the worldwide data center represent around 1.3% of energy around the world by 2010. So, as per the Environment Protection reports, stated that the aggregate assessed bill, energy bill for data center in 2010, it was 11.5 billion dollars, and energy cost in the run of data center double every 5 years. So where does power goes? Where it is exactly used, and where the power consumption in data center. So 50% of 50% of energy is consumed in servers and storage, and 34% of energy is consumed in computer room, that is AC, and the conversation 7%, network 7%, lighting. So computer resources and practically servers are at the heart of the complex involving the system. So what is the impact? How clouds are impact on the environment? So data centers are not only expensive to maintain but also use unfriendly to the environment. So carbon emission due to data centers worldwide is now more than both Argentina and Netherlands emissions. High energy cost and high carbon footprints are incurred due to the massive amount of electricity needs to power and cooling the numerous servers host in the these data centers. So how it is performance and energy efficiency. So as energy costs are increasing, there is need to shift focus from optimizing of data center resource management for pure performance alone to optimizing for energy efficiency while maintaining high service level performance. Okay, in cloud computing, what we used to do is we are always thinking about how data will be maintained, how the data is stored, and how we can manage the data into the cloud, and then we'll think about how we can run the data. Okay, so in that aspects, um, the different models are came into the pictures. Later on, researchers are mainly focus on how we can uh, how we can reduce the energy efficiency in data centers, cloud centers, and how we can reduce the power cost, how we can reduce the carbon emissions. Okay, how we can maximize the revenue by reducing the power cost in a cloud data centers. So we are having different core components in green cloud computing. That is, data center is subdivision of information and communication technology server service provider organization. where this organization can operate most of the ICT infrastructure that support to their clients. And the network says that that devices used in creating data centers are switches, links, and servers. So if you see the green cloud center architecture, so here we are having the consumers, okay, and then green service allocators. We are having this is the one green service allocator where green negotiator, service analyzer, consumer profile pricing, energy monitor, and service scheduler, VM managers, accounts. So here and the second next level, what happened? We are having the virtual machines, and then we are when we are operating these virtual machines, then what happened? We are having the different physical machines, and we can reduce once we are operating some servers. If you are considering this VMs, so this server is power consuming, so remaining servers are shut down. If you see this one, there is these are power off because the data which are having in this virtual machine that shifted to this machine, and these three virtual machines are work, and these three servers are on power on. Okay, if you look into the this servers, so whatever the data is running into the one virtual machine that transmitted to the another virtual machine, and this data instead of four data center the servers, okay, these four sets we can use only two sets, and remaining sets will be off. So we can work on different parameters. If you see the cloud providers, service providers, we can look into the there is many researchers work on QAs and how we can reduce the energy and based provisions such that we can reduce the power consuming and increase the revenue. So if you see there is the different architectures, access level, aggregate level, and core level. If you see the access level, we are suppose the loop free topology due to inexpensive layers, that is switches in the access layer. If you see the aggregation layer, there are a number of server nodes that more than 10,000 server, but it leads to increase the cost due to the increasing number of servers. And if you see into the core level, there are three-tier architecture include 8 core features, so different we can have. So here the device make a data center. Okay, so here if you see this is as a data center, so you just assume that this data center as Facebook data center. See, I think it may be the when the Facebook is started, they just use these servers, one one rack of servers. Okay, then what happened? Day by day people are addict with the Facebook, and they are trying to uh, store their data into the cloud, this platform Facebook, and they are feeding so many images and data into the Facebook. Therefore the data center see how it is increased, and it requires if I think you know about that servers. If you visit any your data center nearby your data center, or you can go to data center of your institution, you will find the that room is very hot. So to avoid that hotness, people are using the ACs. Okay, so these are different analysis and finding for existing systems. Uh, so if you see the various sites, so here see Google is using, Facebook is 10.52% of data they are using and power also consuming. If you see the Google 7.74, they are working on it, and YouTube 3.7% of data means power is consuming. Yahoo and the Bing, Gmail, and Windows Live Mail, and MSN, eBay, and Alol Mail, and Yahoo News by Wikipedia, Amazon, Pogo, Google Maps, Ask, and Bank of America online banking. So the various, if you compare, see the comparison, then the Facebook is consuming lot of power. compared to other. So the key success of energy efficient cloud is virtualization. We're having green cloud simulator. So the simulator provides the modeling environment for describing energy consumed by the environment, by the elements of the data center, such as servers, switches, and links. So the main focus of a green cloud simulator is on the packet level simulation of communication in the data center infrastructure, which provides the finest control and distinguishes it from any other cloud simulation environment. So there are many cloud simulator derived from NS2 network simulator. It comes a predefined with VM. If you see VMware players, and if you go to the some Google, you will find yeah, so many cloud simulators. So one example of best cloud simulator is Cloud Sim, which is developed by Rajkumar Bhuya, who is the great researcher in cloud computing. So here, this we are having this different green cloud simulator about this. So what is the main objective here is to try to building a new data center in order to describe the total power consumption by several devices of data center. So how we can reduce the power and consumption, and how can reduce the carbon emissions. So if you see the carbon emission dictionary directory, there are this contains data center contains data on power usage, effectiveness, and cooling efficiency, carbon footprint, network cost, and it helps to the users to select cloud services with a minimum carbon footprint. So here it requires more carbon transparency from the providers that government role by enforcing policies such as carbon tax. Okay, so this is the power usage efficiencies, that is PUE, that is overall power by power delivery. So different we are having. So this is the different case studies having, and this is rack design, and these are the different data centers and having with different operational and different servers. If you see this one, UCAD data center, this data center area is 60 square meters and operates 24 hours a day, and it's having the servers consume 500 watts each, and green data center approach rack cloud computing involve worker diversification and power management flexibility. If you see this one rack design, so you will find different methods. So in Indian scenario, in as 2017, 14% of all ICT emission is caused by data centers. So it's roughly 50% of emission due to the data center is due to power system losses and cooling loads. So rapid growth in use of this IPTV and enterprise IT, both corporate and internet data centers involved. So the many researchers work on to reduce the energy consumption in cloud data center. So we have very good example. I will share with you how we can form a energy. This is one very good article, how we can form a problems. This is a this paper is a work on how to reduce the energy consumption in cloud data centers, how the people are work on it. Okay, so this is the one of the simple example, means how to create a objective and how to write a research paper such that you can fully involve, you can understand how people are working on it. So resource allocation model in cloud data center let MBA number of virtual machines and any the number of physical machines or hosts, okay, respectively. So here the V is the defined as consist of where is the virtual machines, where VI is an instant of virtual machines, and this is M. What is the P here? P is a collection of physical machines, where PJ is instance of physical machines. So if you see this one, V equal V1 to VK, P equal P1 to PT, So in the author model that each physical missions PJ is characterized as five tuples here. So what is the tuples? So what tuples are? What are the parameters they are having? So idea of one physical mission, CPU value, storage, bandwidth, on how many cores. Where IDJ is the unique ID of physical machine and CPU is the computing power of physical machine generally and given in a million instruction per second MIPS. And storage J is the capacity of random access memory of physical machines. And core J is the number of core in a physical machines. And BW is the bandwidth that is allocated to physical machines. So how each virtual machine is characterized here is we are having the physical machine and we are having the virtual machine. So for each physical machine, we are having n number of virtual machines. So here, so each virtual. First, we have discussed how many tuples are there in physical machines. Now we are going to discuss how many tuples are there in a virtual machine. So here we are having virtual machine IDI, CPU, storage, bandwidth. So how it will be defined it, so the definition is that virtual machine allocation is cloud data center. Okay, derive a mapping from a set of virtual machines to a set of physical machines that should maximize the resource utilization and minimize the energy consumption. So here the resource utilization of physical machines can be decomposed into CPU utilization, memory utilization, bandwidth utilization by all virtual machines in the host. Okay, so here we can see here VI CPU by PJ CPU is give that CPU utilization of jth host by ith virtual machines. Okay, so this is memory, which memory utilization of jth host by ith virtual machine. So how we can, the objective function is that the maximizing the physical resource utilization as defined as, this is the formula that maximizes your CPU utilization, memory utilization and bandwidth utilization with the constraints of different parameters. Okay, so here if you see this third equations that the one virtual machine is allocated to only one physical machines through one physical machine may have more than one virtual machine. Where if you see the 4, 5 and 6, these are the constraints. 4, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the constraints. So here to check the resource request for each physical missions and guarantee that they will not exceed the capacity of physical missions. So here we are having the CPU utilization, memory utilization, and bandwidth utilization. These components, these tuples should not be exist physical machine capacity. So here we have different equations. So how we can, this is the utilization of the mission in either. So this is the physical mission utilization is the sum of utilization rates of all VM into the to the physical missions. So this is the different equations and the researchers work on how the VM allocation using modified improved particle swarm optimization model. So they are having different VM maps and a migration manager and placement optimizers and different user having different VMs. And if you see 1 to n times, so there are different. This is optimization model, optimize placement optimization, and then migrations. How to VM. Once suppose if you we have already discussed in previous slide, if the one VM is running in one server, okay, and in other server different VMs are running, and instead of only one, see we are running only one VM. So what we'll do? for only one VM, they are run the three servers are working. So what we'll do is we'll send this VM to the another VM cloud servers, so that these servers will be switch off, means we can switch off the energy. So when it is migrate from the one server to another server, it having some problem. So this is the very one good example of how we can reduce energy consumption in cloud data centers. Okay. So this is one more algorithm proposed by one more researchers, my student working on it, and we are using the multiple threads on the operations. So we are having different parallel. I think you know parallel computing. So parallel hybrid algorithm is work on it. So we'll get very good results from this solution. So what are the limitation of if limitations of green cloud computing? So the principal limitation is that high cost of purchase of components that are required to make the cloud computing more efficient, like cooling equipment, carbon emission rating meters, and other things. And so recently, one organization, they have dropped their data center into the sea. So the limitation is there, is the security limitation is there. So even they are not going to use any energy, instead of keeping some cool environment. Okay, instead they are keeping data center into the ice area, or keeping some ACs. So the energy consumption are increasing. So people are the researchers are involved into different components, and what they did is the company is dig means they keep their data center into the water sea. Okay, so the high efficiency illustrated by simulator is very difficult to implement in reality. So the the next limitation is maintenance of the device, including in a data center, is also prime limitation. So what is the use advantage? That reduce the desktop power consumption and support one machine for a home and work, and more power and efficient overall. So enable efficient models, and it enables us efficient server level virus protect, and enable efficient pooled computing. We can avoid the needs to by PCs for third parties, and this thin client lasts longer than PCs, and it's reduced the need for a office cooling, and reduce the data step desktop power consumption. So, what is the future scope in a green cloud computing? So, in a green cloud computing data center, we can understand the analyzing and existing data center power and cooling designs, power consumption by the servers and their cooling requirement to achieve maximum efficiency. So, this is the data centers, and we also require modeling tools to measure the energy usage of components and services of cloud. So here, so this is related to green cloud computing. This is also a very good research topic. If you are interested, and if you are having some queries, please drop the mail. So I will suggest in a better way how to work on it in the area of green cloud computing. And many researchers are still working on it. And you can also, I am suggesting this is one of the best research area. And now, so this is what is the future scope. We are having a overall power usage of data centers, and you can develop a new models, new and verification models for energy consumptions and efficiency, improving the efficiency of equipment used in the cloud computing. So this is the related to cloud computing. Now we will go to the fog. So what is the fog? The simple people or researchers are saying that, so in terms of when we are working on some data, So that data is goes to, suppose I am the user and I am working on some application. I want to access my data from cloud. So what happened is consuming lot of time to retrieve that information. Okay. So what I will do every time I will go to the cloud and I will retrieve my information and I will execute I will perform my operation on that data. So instead of that, people are saying researcher or introduce a fog where we can give the interface between the middle layer between the cloud and end users. So cloud computing is a type of computer that relies on sharing the computing resources rather than having local servers or personal device to handle the operations. So the cloud computing are having some limitations that not are always connected. So what happened? Suppose I want to collect the information. So connectivity to cloud is a prerequisite of the cloud computing, and some IoT system need to work even if connection is temporarily unavailable. So not always enough bandwidth. So cloud computing assume that there is enough bandwidth to collect the data, but that becomes a overlay stronger assumptions by industrial applications. Cloud computing, centralized analytics, and security shortcomings are there. So in fog, so if you see the cloud data centers, and yeah, we are having thousands of servers, and if you see the fog nodes, we are having the millions of, and we are having edge devices, that IoT devices. So whereas the cloud is up there in the sky somewhere distant and remote and deliberately abstract. Fog is close to the ground, right where things are getting down. So here, fog computing is a paradigm that extends cloud computing and services to the edge of the network. So the places, processes, and resources at the edge of the cloud, often on network device, while data remains stored into the cloud. So this leads to faster processing time and fewer resources consumed. So here, when you are accessing the data from the cloud environment, so what happened, the latency problems also coming into the picture. So the Cisco system is in 2014 introduced fog computing as a new model to ease wireless data transfer to distributed device in the IoT network. So if you see this one, so we are having different devices. If you see mobile device, sensor device, okay, then the middle layer where is your PC and notebook and home detail. So you treat it as a, this is the fog layers, and we are having cloud data centers, that is massive parallel processing, big data management, big data mining machine. So here, when you suppose I'm a user, I want to access some data related to mobile server devices, so it goes to the fog, then cloud. So what happened here? The real-time data processing here, what we'll do, we keep the data here and okay, we can access. So this is the architecture, cloud architecture before the evident of fog technology. And if you see the this architecture, that is after the fog technology. So here if you see, this is real time load balancing, load detection, decision making, and we are having geo distributed. So we are having there's a middle layer, that is fog. So we can, so what are the main fog computing characteristics here? Geographical distribution, support for mobility, real-time interactions, heterogeneity, and interoperability. So what is the geographical distributions? That the services and application objective of fog is widely distributed, and support for mobility is fog device provide mobility techniques like decouple host identity to location identity, and fog requires real-time interaction for speedy services, and so these are the different characteristics of fog computing. So what is the fog versus cloud? So here the reduction and data movement across the network resulting in reduced congestion and elimination of bottlenecks resulting from centralized computing systems and improved security of encrypted data as it stay closer to the end users. So these are the, if you see the different parameters and cloud and how cloud and fog work out. So latency in cloud high latency, in fog it is low latency. Delay jitter in cloud this is high, and in fog environment very low. Location of server nodes that are within the internet at the edge of the local, and distance between the client and server. This in cloud computing multiple hops, and in fog only one hop. And security undefined can be defined in the fog environment. Attack on data and router. So there is a high probability are there in cloud computing, and in fog is very less probability to get the attack. So whether it is location awareness, the cloud is no, and fog is yes. It is a location awareness. In terms of geographical distribution, cloud compute is centralized, and fog is distributed. And we have what about the nodes? So in the number of server nodes in fog computing is few, but in fog is very large, and support mobility is in cloud limited and supported. So in terms of real-time interactions, cloud computing support both are supporting here. So by fog and IoT, what is the relations? By the number of things that are apart from I to IoT may reach up to 50 billions. That's a lot of data being generated. Okay, so here we are having internet of different internet of things devices, that is like vehicles, buildings, electronic devices, software, sensors, and network connectivity that enable these objects to collect and exchange the data. So this is the architecture of fog computing, IoT application models, resource management infrastructure, data fog devices, IoT sensor and device. So these are the different nodes. So we are having in fog IoT sensors. So this IoT sensor can place at the bottommost layer of the architecture and distributed geographically, sensing the environment and emitting observed values to upper layers via gateways for further processing and filtering. And these data stream, IoT data streams are made of sequence of immutable values emitted by the servers, by the sensors. And what are the activators here? That it is at bottommost layer of architecture and responsible for controlling a mechanism or system. So activators are actually designed to respond to changes in the environment that are captured by the sensors. So in fog devices, it is a architecture, any element in a network that is capable of hosting application modules is called fog device. So we are having different fog device that connects to the sensor. Generally, we can call as gateways. In addition to the this, the architecture defined three main services for fog and IoT environment, that is monitoring components, resource component management, and then power management. So in monitoring management, so keep track of resource utilization of availability of sensor, actuators, fog device, and network element. They keep tracks of the application and services deployed in infrastructure by monitoring their performance and status. So in this level also you can work take this is a challenging problem and you can work on it, how the data is utilized, the how the resources are utilized, how can sensors are available. Okay, in this in corporates also you can work on it. And how can next level is resource management. So here how can resources are managed, and what are the QS concerns are there, and resource wastage will be minimized. So you can work on also this area. This is also new upcoming topic. And power consumptions here. So one of the toughest challenge that most IoT solutions face is utilization of resources of IoT nodes with considering constraints on energy consumption. So you also work on how we can minimize the energy consumptions in fog environment. That is also challenging task. Recently, we have worked on it, and we have yeah, got very good article, and is going to publish in Village Journal. And in contrast to cloud data center, fog computing encompasses a large number of devices with heterogeneous power consumption, making energy management difficult to achieve. So we have different policies. Okay, when you are working on with any, if you see the cloud computing, there is a cloud policies also available. How we can interface the map the data and devices. So here we are having the policy management. So we are have the law, policy manager, and he will take care of how retrieve the relevant policies, performance, security, capability, provision services, do service instances, satisfy policy constraints, and other things. So how does fog work? So developers either port or write IoT application for fog nodes at the network edge. So we are having different components, and there are different workloads. So what happens in the fog and cloud? So in fog, what happens? Receive the feeds from the IoT device using any protocol in real time. In cloud platform, what we receive the and aggregate the data summary from many fog nodes, and run IoT enables application for real time control and analytics with a millisecond response time. In cloud platform, perform analysis on IoT data and data from other source to get business insight, provide transit to storage for 2 hours, and send a periodic data summaries to the cloud, and can send new application rules to the fog nodes based on the these insights. So we have different applications. If you see the healthcare, so healthcare system, most countries famous enormous challenge that we increased due to gaining population and age of chronic disease growing. Even if you see the uh, recently, we have developed a one model, one device that Parkinson disease using fog environment. So we have communicated that article. So what it exactly works is they will find out the predictions, uh, and it work in fog environment, and it sends data to the doctors, and he will give the good prescription. So there is a challenging in healthcare environment in terms of fog area by computations. So requirement of healthcare bandwidth, latency, energy, and efficiency, dependability. So these are the things we are having. So what is the vision of fog computing health is flexibility of computing, computation locus, and then integrations. So in for computing architecture, new sensor can be added to the existing infrastructure. If you see, there is a health fog developed by Rajkumar B and his team. That is also a very good article. You can find it. And patient mobility, new applications. So these are different applications. And here without if you see healthy application without a fog, so we are a cloud, WAN, we are LAN, and PAN or ban, and we are having mobile, and then home, hospital, non-hospital, transportation. So without a fog, it will be very difficult to taking care of healthcare applications. So there are different uh, things. So these are the different areas. So if you see the applications, so here IBM, Cisco, and IBM are driving forces being fog computing and link their concept to the emerging IoT cases. According to the Cisco, the important areas where fog would play a vital role, and the applications that are connected cars. Okay, so in connected cars, that are for computing, the connected vehicles, these vehicles, real time interaction will make communication between the cars, access points, and traffic efficiency as possible. And I think autonomous cars, and then best opinion for all internet connected vehicles because fog computing gives real time interactions. So if you see this one, this is a the different vehicles are connected, and this is a car, this is a car, and there is a LAN, and this is a train. So all the different vehicles are connected with the fog nodes, and it will compute different models and gives sufficient areas. And then we can also work on so one of the best example application is smart grids. So when fog computing allows fast mission to mission handshake and human to machine interaction, which would work in cooperation with the cloud. So based on the demand of energy, it is obtainable and low cost. This smart device can switch to other energies like solar and winds. So the edge process the data collected by the fog collectors and generate control command to the activators. So these filtered data are consumed locally and balanced to the higher tides for visualization and real-time reports and transactional analytics. So to support such semi-permanent storage at the highest tides and permanent storage at the lowest layer. So, and these are the one of the most application that is smart cities. So Fogger would be able to obtain sensor data on all levels and integrate at all mutually independent networks. So this is one of the best application you can use for your smart city. Jaipur also you can use different server sensors, and you can give the smart city efficient solutions. So, so what are the milestones we are having in this for computing? People are working, still researchers are working on it. So we recently we have worked on this fog architecture proposed method. We are having the clouds and resource demand consumption and extendable particle swarm, and we have fog nodes and how the task is work out. And uh, so in this case, I will show one more example. So this is how the energy efficient cloud the data centers, and how the forming of this equations. So here, if you see, we are having a VMs and then physical missions. Okay, so this is the example of yeah, this cloud. There means energy consumption in cloud data centers, and there is a one more very good example of this. So recently we have developed a new model that is how we can reduce the power consumption in a fog environment. So this is one of the example for that. And the finally is we have one discourse on various fog computing gives the cloud a companion to handle the 2 exabyte of data rapidly generated daily from the Internet of Things. The processing data closer to where it is produced and needed solve the challenge exploding data volume, velocity, and variety of data, and it accelerate awareness and response to the event by eliminated round trip to the cloud for analyzing. So it avoids the need for a costly bandwidth additions by offloading gigabyte of network traffic from core networks. It also protect sensitive IoT data by analyzing it inside a company wall, and ultimately organization that adopt fog computing gain deeper and faster insights, leading to increasing business and agility, higher service level, and improved safety. So if you say there is a new there is articles good of that is fog computing beginning of a new era in cloud computing. So fog computing healthcare. So these are recent applications. So what is the foggy future that is has quickly gained a mainstream adoption, but fog computing has potential to just as dominant if not more sure. So these are good applications. So people researchers are still means energetic. They are working on energetically working on fog environment, how to reduce the power consumption, how to schedule the fog nodes into the fog environment, how to reduce the VM placement. Okay, so how people are and researchers also working on healthcare applications, smart city applications, their smart grid application in fog environment. So these are the new upcoming, and still people are working on it. This area. So this is also one of the best research area for the researchers to go through it. Thank you so much. So any queries, please?
Yes, participants, if you have any query, please ask in a chat box. Sir, I think no any query, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. If you are having any
Thank you
queries,
so much, sir. Thank you,
so if you
participants.
people are having any research oriented means collaborations or research oriented any problems you are getting, please drop a mail. Will I will support in this area surely. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Participants, kindly attend the next session at 2:30.